So Jeremy, tell me a little bit about if you can describe your character. Um, Tell me about Dapper. Tell me, what makes him tick. Uh, what is this guy about?
Sure, sure. Well, Dapper is essentially a poison expert. So he uses a random array of different poisons to off his victims. So he's not a hands-on killer, as much as he's slightly more cerebral, if you can say that about any of these characters. But he doesn't rely on brute force. He really relies on shrewdness and kind of his mental skill to be able to outdo his intended assignment. Um, Now, that's not to say that he's not inept. I mean, I think that's the most incredible thing about the entire script is that every one of these people is truly, truly an idiot. Um, and so when he's going about trying to off people, he feels like he's the smartest person in the room every time. Now, whether or not that's the case is very questionable. But the fact of the matter is, he considers himself to be so wily and so smart and so intelligent that there's no one that he feels like he couldn't get done with in one way or the other. But again, it's primarily poisons and that sort of thing, and it's always the ingestion. I think he kind of prides himself on coming up with new and different ways to kill people, whether it be giving somebody a shot of battery acid or putting Drano in somebody's morning coffee or what. It doesn't really matter what it is, but the fact is his conception of his own mental prowess is so far beyond the reality, because he's really not the sharpest guy.
In your kill scene that's out, the outdoor scene on the patio,
Yeah.
he he gets offended by the wife of the intended target,
Right.
who insults Texas.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like there was a lot in his path, like he's easily insulted, and maybe there's been multiple times maybe that
Oh.
he, he's taken down multiple targets where not necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing of it is that in that particular scene, he actually ends up killing the wife of the target as well,
Right.
just because she's so insulting of his home state and whatever else, which is funny in and of itself. But the fact of the matter is, I think, the other thing, he probably prides himself on being a little bit of a chameleon, like a little bit of a master of disguise and that sort of thing, which he never really disguises anything, which is so genius about the script, is that, he thinks by throwing on a scarf, then all of a sudden he's British. When, dude, he's the same guy. He's got the same handlebar mustache and the same kind of Texas drawl, and he gets so worked up so easily, particularly when things don't go his way. He always feels like every kill should be the smoothest, most easy thing. He's going to get in there, he's going to really trick these guys with his incredible mental acumen, and then he's going to walk off with his hands clean and just say, look, I did what I was supposed to do. Now, in that particular scene, the wife of the target is very, very insulting of his home state. Now, obviously, he's playing a Brit, so I don't think she would probably behave that way if she knew, hey, this guy's from Texas and everybody in Texas is a fucking idiot. But that's how he took it. So instead of just killing the dude and being done with it, he goes ahead and bumps her off too, and then he has no problem with it. And then when you see in the following scenes, when he's talking to Elvis's character, when he's talking to the boss, and the boss is like, hey, was that absolutely necessary? And he's like, I just had to do it. I had to do it. She had to go. Like, he really felt like her slight on his personal origin story was enough to merit her death. And I don't think he has any, there's no scruples there. It's not like he's sitting there saying like, oh man, I probably should have just kind of restrained myself a little bit. So yeah, I think probably more often than not, and maybe that's the whole thing about like an intellectual ego, is that if people don't give you the credit that you feel is due towards you're like, well, I'll show you, motherfucker. Like you'll get it one way or the other. Meanwhile, what's going to end up happening is these two people are just going to drop feels like he got the last laugh. You know, he feels like I got him. I got him. You know.
Had you ever